So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. Just as I said tarot, I realized I didn't have any tarot. There we go. So these are the decks we'll be using for today's reading. We're looking at the week ahead, and we're looking at some guidance navigating through the next 7 to 10 days. Please keep in mind that energy isn't set in a fixed any sort of form. So this could be something that you're experiencing now, something that might be passing out of existence, or something coming into existence. Okay, so if you tap into older energy, older frequency, go check out another pile. Okay, because we'll be doing a pick a pile here shortly, and we'll be looking at the week ahead energetically. Now, energy is very interconnected, so you could resonate with all three piles, different aspects of your situation, circumstance, different people. Okay, it's going to pick up the strongest energies around you. So it could be what you're sort of thinking, feeling, experiencing, or it could be coming from your situation, people you're dealing with from that perspective. It could also be coming from spirit directly in regards to an objective view for you to consider. And whatever it is you're needing to hear for the week ahead is what's going to pull through, okay? But week ahead loosely. So I love you guys very much. I hope these readings resonate for all of you guys, but it's absolutely okay to not have a message here today. I have lots of readings. You can go to my playlist if you don't resonate with this reading today, okay? So these are the decks we'll use, and I will put a link right here to the tarot deck flip through so you guys can go take a look at some of these, because I do reveal a lot of the cards and decks that I use on this channel for those of you guys interested in, you know, investing, and also for those of you guys who want to energetically charge the cards for future readings. All right, beautiful people. So I will pull the three options that we'll be using for today's reading, and we'll be back. Hello, gorgeous angels. Let's pull the three options that we're choosing from here for your pick a card. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of the collective. Can we get three cards here for the week ahead? Guidance in regards to the energy around pile number 1, 2, and 3 for the week ahead. Thank you so much, spirits, for the greatest and highest good of the collective. Three options. So we have the first two coming out. Let's pull the last one. If at any point you're called to any one of these, I will put the timestamp in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It will take you directly to these picks, 1, 2, 3. We will reveal them shortly. Okay, for those of you guys needing a little more guidance. And like I said, if you are called to more than one, it's absolutely fine. Different aspects of a situation could be pulling through. Okay, so if you're having a difficult time, just close your eyes, open your eyes, and most likely the one that draws you in will have the message for you. Okay, so use your own intuition, what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether the pile resonates for you. And let's review. Option 1. You guys have the Grand Cross 47 with Provoker. Option number 2, you guys have the 12th house with Escape 36. Option number 3, we have Capricorn with I use 22. All right, so sit with this energy, gorgeous angels. I will leave the video running for a bit so you guys don't get the bar at the bottom there. Sit with this, and then when you feel called to your pile, like I said, I will put the timestamp in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It'll take you directly to your pick, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, pile number 1. You guys pick the Grand Cross with the Provoker, card number 47, or number 11. So 11 is a very spiritual number here. So definitely anything that you could be experiencing in the next 7 to 10 days could be something that is that you're being divinely guided through, okay, no matter how challenging. The Provoker is quite a challenging card because it seems like no matter what, there's obstacles sort of being thrown upon you. You know, you might feel a little directionalness. So let's see more, okay? Let's see more. You could be coming out of this stage, or maybe there's more about this that we need to see. So we're going to pull the cards together here, okay? If you want, you can skip ahead. But I do suggest if you are developing your intuition, you sit through this process. We're going to lay the spread out, okay? Come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your reading. Do not take the words literally, okay? And we'll see. What is this next 7 to 10 days? Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. What are they being shown here in regards to the next 7 to 10 days? Guidance throughout this week ahead for pile 1. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. Spirit, thank you so much. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing the reading. And these, there's your card right there. And 2 more. Pile number 1, week ahead, spirits, clear and concise message. Guidance for the next 7 to 10 days. What can they expect here, spirits? Thank you so much. Pile 1. Ooh, someone's at the door. That's what you can expect. Oh my goodness, I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Interesting. It was a package for my daughter. But what's interesting about this is that this card could indicate where we might be going in one direction. And then we sort of might get distracted, you know, and not finish tasks. There's like a lot of balls up in the air, potentially. Lots of obstacles. You know, this could definitely be part of this reading is like we had to deal with something else, you know. And this might be going on for a bit here. And so we might feel like we're not following through on something, or, yeah, it feels like a challenging energy here, but only because maybe you're wanting to, you know, like have follow through, but you're not quite sure where to invest your energy. So let's take a look. So we have firm and we have hide. Interesting. And we have hate. Oh my goodness. And we have anger. Jeepers creepers. We have this leopard, and it looks like it has somebody here up on a tree who looks like they're bleeding. Under firm, okay. And then we have this traffic signal, if you will, with the recycle arrows. Under hide. And we have 2 people. I don't know if they're whispering or being intimate. I have no idea. These look like 2 masculines. And we have hate. Okay. And then we have balloons, and it says anger. Fascinating. We have intuition. So heavy Pisces energy coming through. And then we have Lady Portia with divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Okay, we'll leave the tarot for now, but we will pull tarot in a bit. Let's see what's going on here. Let me channel this energy. What should we use? Let's use my new one. There's a little crack in it. Okay. Okay, we'll definitely need more tarot, and this might become clear as I start to unpack some of this stuff here, but this is a frustrating energy, okay? And I'm not here to predict how your week is going to go in a way here that's set in stone, okay? You do tarot in order for you to understand the energy, and you're always conscious to make different choices, okay? Unless you're just sort of asleep at the wheel, so to speak, or let your auto programming make decisions, okay? You're really being guided by your intuition here, which is difficult if we don't have a strong sense of developed intuition, especially if we're experiencing in front of us challenges that seem very real, and they are real as they're presenting themselves in front of us. But there is this having to go through what you're experiencing and sensing in front of you, and then navigating and understanding a direction in which makes the most sense for you. And so why this is unfolding the way it is, okay, seeming all challenging and like there's obstacles in any direction you go, sort of you're not quite sure, and you feel either blocked or like there might be a trick down that path or plan. And there might be you having this inner battle of like, do I trust what I see? Do I trust my intuition in regards to maybe not knowing that, what you're sensing or feeling is the right path and going blindly down a path? Okay, but then maybe getting sort of a little bit down that path and then maybe hitting another obstacle and then questioning whether your intuition was right or not. Like, this seems very challenging here. And I do feel like it's sort of a block from the divine in order for you to sort of navigate through this kind of a challenge, if you will, or experience. Okay, so I find it interesting that this talks about like the four sort of paths or directions we can go. And we see firm, hide, hate, and anger, which hate and anger are sort of in the same sort of lower realms here of energy, where we could get very frustrated and have a very, get swept away by the negativity of the energy or the experience, and then sort of go down that path or stay in that lower energy. Or we could sort of raise our energy or vibration or frequency to see things from a more larger perspective in order to gain clarity in tandem with the intuition so that we can push through something here. Because I do feel like there's something about feeling trapped or in cycles and then maybe trying to hide from tough decisions we might need to make. And so it feels more comfortable to sort of hide. And it might be that the decisions that we have to make are requiring us to be firm, but firm decisions might create some form of pain here or some unpleasant experience that might be very, what's the right word here, spirits? Well, one, we definitely aren't wanting to experience going through anything that feels uncomfortable, but it feels almost life-changing, or it almost feels like maybe having a part of yourself die off, or seeing a part of yourself that maybe you were attached to or believed to be a part that you liked of yourself. Okay, because I'm seeing this as a part of yourself. It could be other people or your situation involved, but I see as a part of yourself that might be time to make firm decisions about in your situation and circumstance that puts that version of you sort of behind you. Okay, and so we develop coping mechanisms and we develop ways of being based on our upbringing. Okay, and so when we're younger, we have to cope with what's going on. And so sometimes we are in environments where it's very unpredictable and we're small children. And so we have to be on a high alert, or we have to like be ready to react and respond, And so we develop this innate way of being. And then later, as we sort of grow as adults, it's like this has been integrated into who we are. And so to be anything other than what we were integrated to be, although maybe as an adult, the situation circumstance does require a different sort of more conscious energy to make decisions and be more ascended in our viewpoint or see things in totality rather than the immediacy of something. Because I feel like there's an immediacy here of something that feels very threatening, where we might have to make a firm decision at the expense of acknowledging something that might be very painful. And then there's maybe a tendency to not want to deal with things or hide from having to make these decisions, which might result in repeating of certain patterns or behaviors and pain. So it's like drawing out the pain rather than ripping the Band-Aid. And then I see here, which I'm still trying to understand this whole thing, I see these two masculines, and I don't know what they're doing here. If they're about to kiss, are they intimate? Are they sharing secrets? So it could be that there's two masculine energies here, your masculine energy and maybe another part of your masculine energy, the distorted masculine within you and maybe the healthy masculine within you, trying to battle it out here. Some aspect of yourself that you're feeling maybe some hate for or like a resistance for. Okay, now it could be you and another person maybe asserting dominance here, because I feel like with the provoker, it's like we're being provoked, whether it's internal or by an external. And I do feel like because it's masculine energy, it might feel very threatening. It's coming in our space, And it's like this hate can only lead to more challenge, because it's like when we hate something, it's like we're feeding that energy in which we don't like and charging it. Or we could be hiding and building that energy by resisting. So what you resist persists, and sort of what you feed, you intensify. And so there's a need to deal with something we don't like. It's saying hate here, okay? But it doesn't have to be the word we use, but it is something that is creating either a resistance or a need to run for cover or some reactionary thing that it might be threatening us. And then we feel like, like it's threatening us. And so there's a need to confront this and stand behind whatever decision we sort of make here. And I feel like this firm and this tree are both talking about stability, security. Like this tree isn't going anywhere. It's grounded, it's stable, it's firm. And so this decision, I feel, would have to be aligned. I feel it's a decision, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the path that you're being called to go down, Do I go down the path of hiding where I might be just repeating the same suffering? Or do I battle it out with myself and do this internal back and forth and not get anywhere? Or do I do the path of rising above my frustrations here and seeing it differently, and then take action here in being firm behind my conviction of something, no matter how maybe painful it might appear to be, or how responsive I might have to be, like the leopard, which kind of looks like a cheetah here, is one of the fastest animals here. So are we having to make a very quick sort of responsive decision here, or be ahead of the decision here, or outrun something within ourselves to get ahead of it so we can see it, so that the decisions we make are firm? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be one decision. It might just be one path. We're intuitively called to pull from one path that maybe we don't want to go down, but it's the most solid. It feels the most grounded or secure, and would require us to be firm in without wavering, without sort of trying to try it and then go back to hiding or something like this, or get stuck in a battle out here, being provoked by our own inner state, inner conflict, or by someone else sort of provoking us out of this state. But I do feel like there's a consequence here, that we might not like, but it is also coming with this security and this stability. Isn't this fascinating? Eh? And so this Lady Portia says, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Again, so lessons, when we go through divine lessons here, which I do feel there's something very divine here, it is overcoming potentially, like I was talking about earlier, like, childhood patterns that maybe where we would always choose to not confront or hide or do this has worked for us. But this is all about overcoming this. And when we overcome this, it's like the only way to really get through this and the other side is really experiencing this, experiencing any pain that comes with this, or loss or frustration. And how do we rise above? And how do we not get stuck in lower vibration, or get bitter, or get resentful, or starts to get provoked and pulled into drama or an energy here that doesn't amount to maybe something solid, And I feel like it's like, what can I trust? Like this leopard with the spots. So who can I trust? What can I trust? And I feel like Spirit is saying you could trust yourself. You could trust yourself to make firm decisions, put in firm boundaries, and get ahead of whatever this is. And so I think what we don't like to see here is the fact that would require some form of it looks like damage here, or a death of something. But I feel like that death of something, because that person does seem dead, it's almost like it's been sacrificed to the leopard here. It's like the die-off of the part of us that might have been unhealthy, but that we were very attached to for protection or for whatever. And so we trusted it. But could it be trusted? Could that version of us, that inner child version of us that would use this coping mechanism to protect, is that needed? Or are we now solid and secure in an energy here that can put away that protective mechanism, defense mechanism, once and for all, as painfully as it might be, in order for us to really get grounded and firm in our identity of authenticity, so that we get out of maybe stagnancy or repeat cycles or painful things, or be provoked in lower vibration. And it's a part of our ascension process here in order for us to go through this alignment, if you will. And maybe we already intuitively know that this is sort of on the horizon, and we've been maybe avoiding this, or just knowing it was an option of many, but battling it out, or unsure which direction, because masculine, again, is like asserting ourselves. How do I assert myself? And I feel like we feel threatened here. We definitely feel threatened. So let's see what the tarot has to say about this, okay? Because how are we then navigating this thing? Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. The week ahead. What is this message about? What am I missing here for pile 1? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Let's see. The week ahead for pile 1, Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 1. So we have Pisces, like I said, feeling very strong Pisces here. And we have the 8 swords. So this is the mental prison we could get stuck in, limiting thoughts. There's the 9 pentacles. So there's your own confidence, your own agency, but it is in reverse here. So we're feeling stuck. There's the 4 pentacles in reverse. So I need to not cling or hold back or hang on. 6 pentacles. Yeah, that would be the opposite of this, because here's where we're being asked to give, being asked to maybe be on the receiving end of something here. I don't know. There we have the 7 swords. So there's a need for authenticity. And we see the fox. Foxes could be very intellectual creatures here, need to be sly or outwit or outsmart something maybe. Maybe we're trying to be strategic. Or maybe we're not being honest about something here, but I feel like there's an imbalance with the 6 pentacles, or a need to get balanced. 5 of Cups. And so 5 of Cups looking back in sadness or regret. Horses are very intuitive. If we're too stuck in the lower vibration, we might not be in tune with the intuition here to make decisions. 3 of Wands, feeling stuck. Plans potentially falling apart, not being able to move forward. And the Emperor in reverse. I need to get empowered. There's that divine masculine energy, but it's in the reverse, which means it's in the shadow or distorted. And then the Mother of Swords, clarity. Maybe even being ruthless, maybe even cutting people out, making clarity and certainty based on wisdom and experience. And then the 2 swords in reverse. Okay, so let me see, what is this telling you here? So the Queen of Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is Aries. Okay. Okay. Beautiful people. I feel like there is a decision of sorts that maybe we were needing to take action on or experience something that we might have been prolonging, avoiding, holding back here. I'm really seeing the 4s again. So it's like a crossroads of 4 directions is what I see, which almost makes it more difficult than being, at a crossroads of like, it's either this way or that way. Because when we have 4, it's like, it's so jumbled, it's like we're trying and getting blocked because I think we're trying to go around something of an obvious thing is what I really feel. And so we think the more options or possibilities or whatever to still hang on or still not face this thing would get us some successful outcome. And I think you're being forced this week to look at the one thing here that maybe I don't know, like we're avoiding or not wanting to confront because of anticipating some form of die-off or some painful experience here, and need to be very firm with the cutoff. Okay. This isn't going to be everyone's reading, but it should already resonate by now if this is sort of what because I feel like you're already been in this sort of ping pong sort of energy for a bit now, okay, trying to navigate through this, avoiding, I feel, one thing, or like trying to hide from the truth of something here, which I feel has limited you. You felt very stuck to this thing, but I feel like the ramifications of the stuckness is really going to be apparent to you. It's like, I am suffering here from this chain or this limitation that isn't allowing me to experience my freedom, my confidence, and be my own agency, to be my own sort of empowered person. And so the only option we really have is to let go of whatever sort of we were still hanging on to, or go down the path we were avoiding looking at here. Because I do feel like the imbalance of your situation here wasn't feeding you in some capacity here, or it was like, it's like you're going to open up a pathway in order to receive. And the only way to do this is to not deceive yourself, or to admit and see something here. Maybe you're, again, trying to maybe even trick the intuition by trying everything but the one thing that the universe or the divine already knows that you're having to experience, to avoid any sort of sadness, or like disappointments. But I feel like going through the disappointment and really saying, okay, spirits, like, sadness is here. Let the sadness be here, you know, but at least being aligned with the truth. And going through that whole thing allows you to come out the other side, because I feel like really what this lesson is about your own agency and your own empowerment and your own ability to confront and deal with things here that you can deal with, and maybe not be in a mindset of how you might think you can only deal with it, or that, again, that's the childhood sort of protective way of coping, has been very restricting and limiting to you, which at the end of the day was limiting your freedom, because I feel this is a limitation of freedom. Yeah. And so we are being shown this week a mirror, confronted with some mirror, or plans falling apart, or whatever pathway we were trying to go down doesn't allow there to be movement or growth. And so there's only one way forward. And so there is no more fence sitting, and there is no more sort of delaying or prolonging or sitting in procrastination or playing Switzerland. No, none of that now. Now it becomes, I have an experience here that has left me feeling, I don't know, it says hate and anger. So I do feel it's being reflected back to you by another or an aspect of yourself that is pushing you to rise above through an action that might not feel very good in the moment, but it is experiencing that and becoming very firm, that allows there to be a stability here and a freedom for you. And it frees you of illusion, and it frees you of sabotage, and it frees you of imbalanced situations, and allows you to receive from the universe, because I feel like the universe wants to bless you, but the universe will only bless you here if you do when you're on the path here of what is intuitively right and in divine order, but not, I don't know, outplaying, the divine order by like creating your own realities, which aren't in line. But this is all sort of the divine order was for you to go through this thing, because I do feel like this thing is something that will allow you to have the wisdom to have good discernment. But first we have to be willing to see. And if we're not willing to see and accept, it's very limiting, but I feel like seeing and accepting creates this. And it's acknowledging that there's, dark sides to things. And then what choices and decisions do we make from there? Yeah. So it's a tough one here, because really your guidance is to recognize reality and your own self-speak and your own defeating ways of maybe how you limit yourself by the way you deal with things. And really, I only see one pathway here. And I think for some time, maybe this pathway seemed like one of many, but it was like the least desirable path potentially. And so we were trying to go down other paths here or make other things work, but I feel like it was to our detriment or to our own sort of prison. So I do still feel there's one more sort of message coming through here, okay? Challenging. Spirit for pile one, then. What's this final message? Please help pile one as they navigate through this week. Final message, what are they needing to know about this then? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile one. Can we get everything that they're needing to know here as clearly as I can channel this information in a way that pile one will understand? Thank you, Spirit, for this message. I think ultimately we want to get out of 8 swords, and that's this energy. We can't stay there no more. There's the 7 swords again. A need for honesty and truth. And this is this provoker energy, this is the card of lying, cheating, stealing. Somebody might be lying, cheating, stealing from you. It's also the card of strategy, you know? So maybe we're strategizing, like, how do we deal with people who are lying, cheating, stealing? How do we deal with this anger, hate energy, other dominant energies here, provoking? Spirit, final message. There's the Hermit. This is kind of that hide energy, you know? How do we protect ourselves? Do we go in? But maybe the challenger, the provoker, or the threat could still circle us, you know? It never goes away. I feel like something's not going away here as long as we stay sort of hidden. Although maybe we are protected, but it's limiting us in the 8 swords. It's restricting us. It's that 9 of Pentacles in reverse and that Emperor in reverse. It's like we're not able to move forward because we can't live in our shell like this. There's the Chariot in reverse, Cancer energy. Yeah, we can't move forward, and a lack of balance, like we said. There's the Hierophant, Taurus energy, Virgo energy, Cancer energy, 8 of Wands, breaking out of something that I feel, again, might have been very cyclical. And look at these 2 lightning bolts. And I feel like, again, like this cheetah is kind of fast energy, you know? And the Chariot in reverse can even be talking about going so fast. You know, so we might get struck with something here that's requiring us to act fast in some way in order to have movement here. Interesting. 4 swords. This is the same energy as this Hermit, reflecting, slowing down to a complete stop. Chariot in reverse, Spirit. Why is the Chariot here? The Star, more healing, and then the Ace of Cups in reverse. Self-love, self-worth, a block to an emotional new beginning. There's 3 cups. And under that, we have that Tower energy, which I was really feeling with this lightning. Okay. I'm not sure this 3 cups is throwing me right off. What's under the Tower? The World in reverse. Okay. Let me sit here for a little bit here. Okay. Pile number 1, you have a very beautiful soul here. You know, I think you want to keep peace. And I think you might be still sort of trying to create a reality, whereas like the universe creates reality. You don't really, you can make choices, but sometimes there's situations that are just the way they are, regardless how good, how mean, how whatever you are, whatever you're doing. But it's all about how you engage in that time. That really results in whether you're allowing yourself to be at your freest and not sort of held back, limited, or dependent on other people or circumstances calling the shots. You're really learning and closing out this major lesson. Like we keep talking about, the divine is wanting you to put this behind you once and for all, because once you learn this is no matter how tough it is, it's like once you learn it, you've learned it. And I feel like it's a coping way that you do here with this Hierophant. And the way we cope is we try to, like negotiate maybe, or strategize, and maybe not want to have to address things head on or straightforward, and hoping, praying, and crossing your fingers that things would shift or change or get better in some way. And I feel like the week ahead, there's this Tower moment. It's like, this is a circumstance and a situation that needs to be dealt with like immediately, that will put this in front of you to see this, that we cannot choose an inauthenticity or choose to react in a way here that isn't in line with the highest by selling ourselves out. And so I feel like maybe in the past, it's like our decisions of the past would keep us sort of stuck in 8 swords and in this sort of cyclical behavior type stuff. And this Tower is here in order to break that cycle, so that frees you for movement. You might have to say things, you might have to say things or cut people out or be a little more firm or be like more concise in a way here, and really stand by your own values of what you consider to be sort of true. And I do feel like this might be something in which when you do take action here, Spirit really wants you to reflect on this, you know? So one, this is here saying, no matter how much you don't want to do this or hide or pull away, it's still going to be in your energy. Like this week, you have to deal with it. You're sort of forced to deal with it, but it's okay to reflect on this and to heal from this and to really sit with what you've experienced here in order for you to really flesh this out and process this thing. You don't have to move on to the next thing, or you don't have to be thinking of an outcome of success. This was successful, you know, and maybe you're thinking like, oh, I didn't have success here. It fell apart. It tricked me. It led me down a path of hurts, or it did something. And Spirit saying, no, it's actually success. But this success might be slowed down. This success might be not experienced just yet, because you're needing to sort of go through the healing. You're needing to understand what has happened and take your time with this. And this tower that's been very sudden was a deconstruction of this thing that maybe you've been very attached to. And so this is a natural process, you know, to go through this, and then to take as long as you need to reflect and heal. And I do feel like there's an innocence about you, you know, and there's this like connecting to understanding yourself from a higher level, because we could still be very innocent and still connected to the divine and very much in line with love and compassion, and still have to make very firm decisions or be strategic, where it might have to, you know, like be about us. And it's not in a way here that cuts people to a disadvantage because we're malicious, but because there's a need to free ourselves of being bound or restricted, because that shouldn't be the cost. Our freedom shouldn't be the cost of peace. Our freedom shouldn't be the cost of something being solid or reliable or dependable. And so I feel like this is one about relying on self, and, you know, it's kind of like this is the path of what, I don't know what they call it. The path you probably didn't want to go down is the path in which the solution lies. But Spirit is saying you are lining yourself up with experiencing a different future now. A future here that is in line with something you're destined to be in line with. But if we would have stayed in a with that coping mechanism, I feel like we would be blocking our own success, our own balance, our own agency, our own ability here to move forward. And so this is all about closing this out so you can move forward and find victory, you know, opening that door so you could find victory. But yeah, I do feel like it's a tough lesson this week, you guys. So this 3 Cups is like wanting to keep peace and friendships, and, you know, this is all about celebrating. And I feel like you really were trying to find harmony. What's going to be a win-win-win for everybody, you know? Be peaceful, be harmonious. And Spirit's really saying with this, you know, it's like, if we're doing this in order to really sort of keep peace and harmony, and we could find peace and harmony like this, then great. But sometimes peace and harmony isn't found in that energy if we have people who are provoking us or in lower vibration. And so there is a need to be discerning and a need to do this and not avoid and not deny or, you know, or even stoop and sabotage and get into a battle, but to really say my ultimate wish here is for there to be harmony, but not every single person is my friend or able to celebrate with me or, you know, experience this. And I feel like we see this because I do feel like somebody shows their true colors or something like this, you know? So challenging. All right, pile 1. This is your reading. I hope this helped you, Aquarius. I don't think I mentioned. All right, I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked the 12th house with escape, card number 36, or the number 9. Let's get into your week ahead. Okay, so this is the next 7 to 10 days, give or take. Okay, and we're going to see guidance from the universe here in regards to the week ahead. So let's pull the cards before I start to really tap into what this is about. But it really is, the 12th house is kind of the catch-all house, of the zodiac here. It's all about endings and closure, spirituality, afterlife, what's hidden, subconscious energies, healing energies, is maybe not knowing truth from fiction, like maybe getting lost in fantasies and that sort of thing. And we're seeing this little spiral here. So it's like a way out. So let's see. Let's pull your cards and see what this is all talking about. Okay. We might be needing to understand what's real. What is real, Spirit? So let's see. Don't take words literally. Okay. I'm going to pull your cards together. You guys can skip ahead if you like. This shouldn't take too long to see what Spirit wants to communicate. Spirit, for pile number 2, the next 7 to 10 days, week ahead, just the energy coming in here, the guidance for pile 2. What are they needing to know about the week ahead? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you so much. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Oh my goodness. I feel this card might have came out for the first pile. I don't know. We're getting very intense here, but let's see. Might be a connection with 1 and 2 if that is the case, but I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm feeling it. So let's see. Spirit, for pile number 2. Clear and concise message here for pile number 2 in regards to the week ahead. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. Now, please keep in mind this could be your energy of your situation, people you're dealing with, your circumstance. Okay, assign it as you see fit. And utilize this information in order to make different sort of decisions. You don't have to take anything you don't like, No way, Jose. You're conscious enough for yourself to make decisions. Okay, clear and concise message for pile 2 here, Spirit. Thank you so much. We are so blessed to be here getting this information from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Please help me to channel this in a way that pile 2 will understand. Okay, so curious to see this one here. It's really shouting out. So, men, oh my goodness. We got a lot of masculine energy for pile 1. Masculine energy. Okay, men. It's more than 1. And there were 2. I won't give too much away of 1, but I mean, this is two masculine energies. It could be, 2 parts of yourself going at it. Your distorted masculine and your healthy masculine, or something, or some other dominant energy here up in the mix. Yes, this came out for pile 1, and I knew it. Okay, well, this says hate, okay, but we're not taking words literally, but this is low vibration. My goodness. What's going on here, Spirit? Joy, look at the opposite. This down here. I'm getting Leo energy here, Aries energy here, confusion. That's this. Moon energy. Oh my goodness. So we have this alligator, crocodile kind of floating around here in this swamp with all these trees. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can I hold it here? Can you see? Okay, so crocodiles could be quite defensive, aggressive even. We could get hurt. And they're on the surface here, but sometimes we don't see them, and then they come out, but they're just on the surface ready to attack. I saw a leopard in one, but I don't know. I'm feeling maybe there's a connection here. And then we see this traffic sign, men at work, someone with a shovel. Is he digging a hole? Is he digging a hole? Digging a hole for himself. What's going on here? And we see a bunch of bikes. I'm getting a 5 wands energy from this, although we only see 4 people. Ride a bike. Ride a bike. I just ride a bike. Like, I don't know. Are we telling someone to get lost? Someone's not moving here. Crossed arms. Someone's very defensive here. Are they defensive of your joy? They're getting in the way of your progress here. Oh my goodness, what is this? And then we have two people dancing, tangoing. Beautiful. Working together in tandem, gracefully, but we have to sort of be in tune with each other's movements, or else we have shoes in the dryer for not moving in the same direction or creating confusion, especially like two-step, right? Or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a dancer, but when you tango, it's like very much a two-person precision. And it's like one fuck up away from being a train wreck. Oh my God. Happiness, joy. Look at this. More Leo energy. Masculine energy coming through with the sun. Men energy here, which is masculine. Finding it very hard to breathe all of a sudden. Green Tara. Supreme protection. You're protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. Oh my tiddly tie. Okay. Before we get into the tarot, let me channel what this is about and then see what's going on here. Okay. Jeepers. Creepers. Beautiful angel. I feel you have such a beautiful soul. I keep feeling this, and maybe, you're going to connect with all three or the first two or just this one. But anyway, you're such a high vibration. Okay. And I don't want you to feel as though being in high vibration is, always going to bring you sunshine and rainbows forever, although it does pull in higher vibrational people. But I do feel like sometimes the moths are attracted to the light. And sometimes the people who are envious and very lower vibe are pulled to our joy and our lights. And it isn't because we're low vibration and pulling in like people. It's because I really feel there's lessons of sorts for these people to experience your joy and your warmth, because I do feel like you're put here to provide a guiding light. And it's like, spirits, can't I just be a guiding light and experience joy and happiness? Because you shouldn't have to be pulled down by anyone or anything. And I believe you shouldn't have to, although divine works in very mysterious ways. And there's always karma unfolding. And we don't know how karma unfolds. Okay. And karma just means energy balancing out from other lifetimes, from other experiences. And sometimes we're on one end and sometimes we're on the other. And sometimes we're just like dishing out experiences for other people. I feel like there's a heavy sort of energy here of whatever is happening is really sort of trying to pull you down. And it's like a very fine line between getting pulled into a world of like not knowing which way's up and what's right and what's wrong, and very confusing to find our way out if we don't trust the highest here. And I feel like the highest is you and spirit. And I feel like there's questioning this highest vibration and this joy and this happiness, because I do feel like somebody is either threatened by you or for whatever reason, their own hurts, their own defensiveness. I feel like I feel like the word here is confronting you, or like challenging you, or like stalking you, or like approaching you. And again, I don't like delivering messages here that are any in this realm, because I'm not here to scare you or create this, but I feel like this is something that isn't just someone coming from the shadows to stalk you. Okay. If you're not experiencing some sort of person here who might be dominant, most likely masculine tendencies or traits or whatever, or, is like a threat here to you. Okay. And I feel like the threat here really is them digging their own hole. And I feel like this is ultimately what we need to keep sort of understanding, is that whatever someone else's shadow, whatever someone else's sort of doing, even if it is in front of us or trying to block us, or I don't know, someone being stubborn, resistant. I feel like someone's getting in front of you in a way here. I do feel it's sort of childish in a way, but I also feel like it's entitled in a way, and it's like trying to direct you. And you're like, no. But then we could get into taking into all sorts of consideration, like, okay, maybe this is a child, or maybe I could consider, like, no. That's getting into this escape. And Spirit is really saying there's no grayness here. There's just sort of understanding what is right for you. And that this person is sort of digging their own hole for whatever reason by being in this sort of energy, instead of allowing themselves to maybe move, maybe experience. They want you to not move too. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, I've known people like this in my world where they're like family members. Okay. It's like they get so sort of too wrapped up in their own hurts or self. And it's like they want you to experience the suffering with them, you know? And then it prevents you from moving. And it's not in a way that, obviously, if you had a friend here who's like, wait, I got to tie my shoelace, you're like, no, I'm going to run and have some joy and leave you here, and you're going to miss the fun because you got to go tie your shoelace. This is somebody who seems kind of controlling and is using tactics to do this. I don't know why, you know, because I don't see any reason here, and this is maybe part of this escape, why this person would want to do this just for the sake of doing it. But we know that there's more, you know. I mean, obviously, well, I don't know what's obvious, okay? Now I'm getting in this escape. I don't know what's obvious, but I do know what Spirit's coming through here. This person is doing this to get a rile out of you and to stop you. I don't know where it stemmed from. And I feel like it could be very sort of confusing and hurtful, and also create all sorts of stuff here that's unnecessary in some way. And that's why we have this confusion, because I feel like maybe you understood this person to be in one way, or people in general. Maybe you had an understanding, you know, or maybe it creates this sort of upside down. And you could get really sort of lost in this world of confusion, because I do feel like it seems very simple to just sort of play along and then we're in sync. Do you know what I'm saying? Or the other person to play along and then we move together. And it's like this person is like, stop. And it's like, you shouldn't have to be forced to do a different dance. And I feel like this person wants you to do their dance, or wants you to change your dance. And it's like, I'm willing to work and collaborate in a beautiful, harmonious dance of happiness, but I'm not going to engage in a dance that I don't know the steps to, especially if it feels here threatening and maybe like stubborn, or like my way only here, you know? It's like, no, we're not moving, you know? This kind of seems like Big Brother energy, kind of in a way here, you know? When you're like little and they know that you are like at the mercy and you don't know your way home. I don't know if this is, if I experience this, because it is feeling like a real experience for me. It's like, I don't know, the Big Brother who has, you know, the solution or whatever. And then he's like making you suffer. I'm like, no, you stay here, you know? And you're just like, but I know that's not right. And he's just doing it because mom left him in charge or something. And so then he thinks he has the power to make you do what he says. And it's like, he just wants to see your loyalty in some way. Like, are you going to do what I say? You know, but you're like, but you love him. And you're like, let's just, I don't know, like mom said we could go have fun. You know, why are we have to stay inside? Or why are you making me do this? Is that sort of an energy? It's making me sad, actually, you know, but at least like when you're growing up and the brother does that, it's like later you forgive your brother, or you see, you know, it's just kids sort of asserting dominance in some way or power tripping. I feel there's like a power trip here over you. And I don't know, maybe someone sees you as property here, or maybe someone doesn't like your joy, or they're trying to dim your light, but all of this is just digging their own hole. And you can either climb into this hole and to do their dance, but this would create a lot of confusion. But I feel like as a kid, we'd have no power. But here I feel you have power. And your power is to not play this game. And in fact, you don't need to be stuck here, because I feel like you are protected to go continue on. And that you don't need to do a lockstep dance with whatever this person is, because I do feel it's a person, okay? But it could be a situation that you're protected from. You are protected, but a situation that's presenting itself, you are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. Yeah, so you would be limited if you stayed here doing the dance that you're being sort of forced or coerced to. And it's like, I don't want to be forced to do anything that's not, you know, and this might even be something that you would want to do, but why would you want to do it if you're being forced to do something? It's like, no, if I'm going to be forced to do it, then I'd rather not to do it at all. So maybe this is why it says men, because I feel like that would be a part of your masculine energy coming through too, because maybe it's something that you would normally just do out of your own sort of free will. But if somebody's like, you got to do this now, it's like, you know, but then that's the fine line between, is this my ego or not? But I feel like this is more than that too, you know, but we do need to check ourselves if we're just like being stubborn. I'm just not going to do this because you tell me. It's like, okay, but what more, you know, like, is this dimming your light? Is this something that is, you know, but it's also, we allow people to treat us the way that they're going to continue treating us. And so if this person's asserting some form of ownership over you, or dominance over you, or control over you, it's like over time, it's like we teach this person how to teach to treat us. And so then it's like we're digging our own hole by allowing this sort of threatening behavior around us. And so it might seem like very small, you know, like just this secluded instance where someone's being a stick in the mud, or like, just wait for me, or I don't know. It's more than a wait for me. It's just like, you can't move, you know, or you can't do this unless it's this way. And it's like, do we give in, you know, 1, 2, 3, and it's like the holes just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's like, no. And I feel like maybe you just draw your line, or you are confused about this nature. So let's see what the tarot, yeah, because it's very clear here, you know, somebody is acting in a certain way and trying to disrupt your joy. And to you, it's like, this seems like a no-brainer to be just happy. Like, why does it have to be this lower vibration here? And it's like, the more we give into that, the more we dig the hole, like the lower vibration here. Spirits, clear and concise message here for pile number 2. Clear and concise message. Please help me to channel this message. What is the week ahead here? Why are we seeing this? What's the guidance? 10 cups. Wow. So that could be the family card, you know, it's their ultimate happiness with another here. 5 swords in reverse. So that's sabotage, where no one wins. No, it is in reverse here. So let's see. And we have the Daughter of Pentacles. That's the Page of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune. And like I said, for a lot of you guys, like I said, this is some form of destined lesson of sorts here. And also this could be, like I always say, about repeating some form of pattern. And so if we dig this hole, it's like we're teaching someone how to teach us and creating some form of pattern here. There's the Empress in reverse. I feel someone's trying to assert dominance over you, you know, through being a bully. What's this Daughter of Pentacles? The 2 of Swords in reverse. This came out for pile 1. Okay. And bottom of the deck is the 3 cups that also came out for pile 1. And the Mother of Swords also came out for pile 1. And under that's 2 pentacles. Okay, so we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is the happiness card here. Okay. So let's see. It's her friends. It's her network of people. Balance. Okay. Pile one, I'm going to do another round because I don't know, it's feeling weird to me, but things are very clear about someone in your network of people. I don't know, friend group, a friend, someone who you could have happiness with, so you guys family member. There's an understanding here of this person sort of being your vibe, your tribe or something, it's like 3 cups. I chill with this person or I hang with this person, or like you wanting happiness and joy and experiencing people in their true form here would be ideal. But I feel like there's a need for you to sort of start to see clearly in whatever the situation is, because I do feel like someone is bringing out the 5 swords. And it's like, how do we deal with a 5 sword situation that's presenting itself? And I feel like Spirit is really saying, do not sort of go into this giving in sort of energy, because you give in once, you give in sort of always, And this isn't from an egoic place at all. This is from a boundaried place of understanding and having the wisdom to know the difference. That either I'm going to dig a hole here for both of you guys, because I feel like this isn't going to win for either of you guys, because I don't feel this person would ever fully be happy being a bully or stunting or stopping something here, because I feel like this person could experience happiness, joy, celebrations within their world, whether it be with you or not with you. And so this person seems like either a sabotager, and now they're getting in the way of your ability to be happy. And it's like, no, I see this, I understand this, and I can put boundaries and cut off what's not healthy or right. No one's going to get in the way of my opportunity here. And I feel like this comes from a very beautiful, gracious place with this deer. I was going to say baby deer, but it's like a fawn. No, a doe, which is a female deer. Fawn is a baby. Again, the baby energy was coming through. It's like an innocent energy. And I think maybe because you are innocent, maybe because you are like this beautiful feminine energy, I feel here, regardless of gender, you have a compassionate, soft side. And this leaves you with confusion. And it's like, do not sit on the fence. Make a decision and make sure that it is, you might want to go watch one, because I do feel there's like parallels. And it's like, if we waffle, if we aren't decisive, we sort of stay digging that hole for ourselves and for others here. And it's like, we might test the water and then like try to like waffle in some way, and Spirit saying, no waffle at all. Allow whatever this is. If this person's requesting or forcing a decision or a direction, you don't have to do any direction, neither, but to be pointed in your understanding of what it is that is your opportunity, whatever this is. You don't have to do one or the other. Like maybe, this person confronts you with, do this, or else it's that. And it's like these 2 options, this or that. And it's like, I don't know, prove your loyalty in some way, or I don't know, assert my dominance. And you're just like, no, it's neither. I'm going to just, I don't know, go on my skateboard and go around you. I don't know, whatever. Like you're not only stuck to the choice that they're giving you, I feel. And Spirit is really saying there is this opportunity for you in the real world here in front of you. And it doesn't require you to be vindictive, angry, hateful, anything like this. Like you could still be your beautiful Empress energy. But in order to make that decision, it's like understanding our value, and still maintaining that compassion, but also the discernment. And laying the boundary in a way here that doesn't let people sort of bulldoze you into their way, And I feel like maybe we're really confused, because this seems like it's someone that we had fun with, or someone we could enjoy a fun time with here, with joy and happiness. So why is it that it's creating this 5 swords? It doesn't make any sense. So definitely, again, someone may be sabotaging your connection with them, or they're just sabotaging themselves, or they're hurting for whatever reason. They're lashing out, or they're being defensive, or they're asserting their dominance. And there's all sorts of this power dynamic here, you know? And Spirit's saying you are protected, and understanding that Empress energy that you have, and that joy and that beautiful energy of happiness is the only way sort of out. But happiness doesn't mean I'm going to make you happy, you know, to go down your path of misery or whatever this is here, because I don't feel that's a happy path. So let's just wrap this up then, because this feels very much like a pile 1 type energy. But Spirit's clear and concise message. What is this final message for pile 2? What is it they're needing to know? Everything about guidance here in regards to this situation or circumstance that they're being called to do. 4 swords. This came out for pile 1 too. Look at this innocence. Remember I said a doe? So there's like a baby lamb here. Someone might be taking your kindness and your innocence as like weakness in some capacity here. But 4 swords is reflection, understanding. There's the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Blocked opportunity, a blocked new beginning. There's the Tower in reverse. Tower came out for pile 1, but it is in reverse. So towers could be, you know, like sudden things that are needing to happen, where the universe strips us of something in order for us to deal with reality. So towers are blessings in disguise, but sometimes they happen in a way here where it's, you know, we can't have any control. It's unpreventable. Is that a word? Unpreventable? That doesn't sound like a word. We can't prevent it from happening. So 5 Pentacles, there's the Mother of Swords. Again, this Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then 6 Pentacles came out for pile 1. And then we have the High Priestess, Intuition, which came out for pile 1. This is Pisces, and there's the Sun on top of happiness, and this Sun energy, Leo. And it is in reverse, and that's this man, masculine energy. Ego. Here's Hierophant, also came out for pile 1. Okay, so Taurus. So there was some article I read online, which is interesting, about how the cards, like 52 cards, I think it said, you know, in a regular playing deck, and the odds of the different combinations were like astronomical, like you wouldn't believe. And so with the tarot, with 78 cards, like you can imagine, the cards coming out in all these combinations are very specific. And so for the same cards to sort of come out from one, I feel is very, very interesting here. It's definitely coming through with the message here. But let me see what this is. High Priestess, the Sun in reverse, and the Hierophant. Major, 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 major arcana. Wow. Okay, at the end of the day, someone's trying to rock your stability here, okay? And I do feel like you are being reminded of your own ability to be conscious and not to lose that side of you that is soft, okay? But this might be difficult and challenging, because again, when we saw the 3 cups, it's like our own friend group, our own network of people. It's like you feel shut out or left out. But again, this energy is like not about you so much as it is revealing somebody's uncomfort with themselves or someone's thing within themselves, you know. But it is still hurtful if it's, you know, our brother or sister or family member or lover or friend, whatever this person is like, you know, we could martyr ourselves and sit there in the disappointment. And I am seeing a red rose, which to me always talks about love, you know. But I feel like this doesn't do anyone good to sort of wallow in the sadness or both of us be missing out. You know, it doesn't do us any good, both of us sort of missing out in this aspect, you know. Because it's not like, oh, I'll just stay here because, you know, you don't have money to go to this party, and so I'll stay here and spend the time with you because I don't want you to be alone. That's one form of being nice. But I feel like this is somebody's destructive thing here, you know, or like somebody asserting dominance like I talked about. But I feel like there's some block here, and I do feel like Spirit's asking you to see this for what it is And I also feel like Spirit is saying, don't let it allow you to pull into that lower state of getting into arguments or being hateful or angry or like doing the misstep dance. Because all this is doing is preventing an inevitable thing here, which is eventually going to fall. Because again, it's digging its hole time over time. It's eventually going to snap. So you could either delay the snap or just allow the snap to happen now. And so spirits are really talking about here, like, where are we investing our energy? And is this producing for us as well in kind? And we'll know. Because if this isn't producing something in kind over time, then we really need to start looking and questioning why we're investing here. I feel like someone's in an ego trip, power trip, or they're like in the midst of some form of like asserting dominance. And so there's a need for this person to check their ego, but also you to check where your ego's at and not to get stuck in ego games here. Okay. And we might be very confused, not seeing clearly why this is happening or what's happening here at all. And we might be really questioning someone's loyalty or their commitment to us, or what's the lesson here? What's the understanding here? Like, what am I seeing here? And Spirit says we're in the dark throughout this process, but to listen to your intuition, to trust, move beyond the limitation that the cords are being cut and that you're being protected from whatever this experience is. So you're on a need to know, see whatever it is Spirit is showing you from this person whenever it is happening, in order for there to be, whatever's supposed to unfold or manifest here. This is why it's happening. And so just trust your own intuition, trust your own guidance, trust your own, spidey senses here. Because I do feel like you're not going to see right away that why this person's behaving this way or what the final reason is here. And it could really just be as simple as they're sorting something through that you're not understanding, and that you don't need to understand, but you also don't need to be a victim of it. But it is tied to you, because I feel like there's a loyalty here, or there's like you questioning their commitment to you or their loyalty to you or their dedication or something about your own value is like, your own compassion and your own values here would be to, which is a beautiful trait, because I feel with the joy and the sun, like you, like I said, you have such a beautiful energy, and it's like, it's not in my nature, not in my nature to do what you're being asked to do here. And Spirit is saying, like, this isn't about what is in your nature, but it's also remaining soft after this experience, upon reflection, that this is a part of the healing process for you and whoever else here is involved. And it will become clear to you, because the sun eventually always rises and the clarity will come and you will see. And so do not get in the way of towers. Do not try to prevent things from happening. Let the tower fall and observe it falling. And even if it's painful observe the tower falling. That's what Spirit wants you to do. And I feel like maybe you don't want to see the tower fall, or you want to try to help prevent the tower, or you're trying to upkeep someone else's tower. And it's like, no, this tower is going to fall eventually. And so it doesn't matter, 2 people, 3 people holding up this tower, like 1 million people, this tower will fall. And you don't want to be a part of this wreck site, because I feel like the bigger the hole here, we're sort of burning when we keep this tower. So Spirit says, observe, let whatever sort of happens fall. It's not your responsibility. You're not a bad guy. Stay in compassion. Okay. And everything will be revealed to you. So this is your reading, pile number 2. What a reading. Wow. Okay. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful pile number 3, card 22, Capricorn I use. So you might resonate with Capricorn in your sun, moon, rising. Okay. But it doesn't have to be at all. Okay. Capricorn. Wow. Very ambitious energy. You know, we'll get into your week ahead, and I want to lay all the cards before we get into it because we'll pull it into context here. Okay, so the week ahead, loosely, 7 to 10 days, it could be energy that's coming into existence, out of existence, depending where you are in your timeline. This sounds like older energy. You might want to go check out another pile here. Okay, so only take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Okay, beautiful angel. So let's take a look. The week ahead for pile number 3, Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. So do not take words literally. Some of these words are very strong. Okay. And I'll just be channeling what pulls through energetically with these cards. Okay. So let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. The week ahead, the next 7 to 10 days. What is the guidance? What are they needing to know about the energy coming in? What is their guidance? What do they need to know about this energy? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 3. All right. And one of these. Okay. And 2 more. Clear and concise message for pile number 3, the week ahead. What are they needing to know? What is the guidance? And finally, one of these. Okay. Beautiful angel. Let's take a look what we have. We have embarrass. Oh my goodness. Embarrass. Okay. Weary. All right. And resist. I just heard what you resist persists again, which we know. I use. Dislike. Interesting. We had hate come through the other 2 piles, and this dislike is sort of along the same lines, not as strong though, but dislike and weary and resist. Interesting. Okay, so we have these 2 people on a boat here. It's kind of giving me a 6 swords type energy. This guy is rowing them. Okay, we'll keep that with embarrass. Okay, just wearing a hat. Can you guys see this? Is this too reflective? No, that's okay. Okay, and then we have this house on the hillside. It's like on a cliff here, this beautiful house. Looks like a Japanese house. What are they called? I don't know what they're called, but it's right at the edge of the cliff here. Beautiful scenery, all those trees. And then we have another house. This is a traffic sign here, but a house, shelter, an archway. Resist. And here we have somebody carrying someone else. And we have someone moving someone, rescuing someone with the 6 swords, or moving along with someone. And here's like, are they moving? Looks like this person is sitting, holding someone who is incapacitated. Okay, I don't know what this is about. And we have resilience. Oh my goodness, and look at this fox energy. So foxes are very resilient, and they could be quite sly, creative, sneaky. They might have to come up with ideas here on the fly. but it could also be a deceptive type energy, sneaky energy. Foxes sometimes could talk about career as well. So this is resilience. And then we have green Tarot, which came out for pile 1. Supreme protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. Was this come out for 1 or 2? Now I don't know. I'm not sure if this came out for 1 or 2, but you might want to go check out those piles if you were called. Okay, take that as sort of a sign here. I am feeling that there might be a connection. Now, let me channel this before we get into the tarot, which might become more clear. But let's see. 22 is a master number, by the way. It's about peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. Also, life path 22, humanitarian and considerate. Okay, but in the negative traits, it's overwork and unemotional. So let's see, that might be some message here for us. Resist. Okay, this is a very sort of, I don't know, like I'm just doubting how I'm reading this, but I've learned long ago not to doubt it, but maybe the tarot will clear this up. I know it's going to resonate for this. Okay, could be your energy around you. Take it as it resonates. All right. There seems to be something here that's been being worked on. Okay, so this isn't something that's just going to pop out of nowhere all of a sudden for your week, because I do feel like there was an investment here. Okay, maybe we're really invested and we're trying to succeed at something, And it's like this energy of this card is like push through this regardless of whatever. And sometimes this card could even indicate like having to commit to something, like actually having to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone, in order to attain whatever it is that is desirable. We sort of have to have skin in the game, And so I feel like the energy that's coming through here is a little bit weary of their own ability. So I'm going to read this as you. Okay, I don't know. Is weary of, you're weary of. I don't know. I can't read it as you. I don't feel this is your energy. I don't. So I'm just going to read it like somebody, okay? Spirit's funny, but it just is the way I channel. I don't know. I can't help it. So weary of their value of providing some form of stability, but some performance here of something secure and beautiful and stable. And it's like pushing this person right to the edge. Pushing this person right to the edge of comfort here. Because I feel like this is stemming from their own inability to trust themselves to either perform whatever they think they need to perform here. And I don't know, like fall flat or not to do it or something like this. Like there's an embarrassment here, but I feel like it's like I don't want to expose myself to a vulnerability that might leave me exposed to failure in some way because I need success, or success looks like this in my mind. And it's like understanding that maybe there's like there's a few messages coming through here. One, I think this has been slow, like I mentioned, because this is really Six Swords to me. And maybe we've been in difficulty. And it's like, I got to get myself out of difficulty. I've been working on getting myself out of difficulty. And maybe I'm embarrassed of my difficulty or how I am navigating through this point in my time, in my life, or in my world. Or I don't know, like, maybe it's like me alone or me, myself, I'm able to navigate my way. But when you enter in someone else, or if someone else is like my responsibility, it like weighs me down to have to rescue me and someone else, or like let someone in to see me operate however I'm operating here. But I know I need to operate or maneuver myself in this point in time that's challenging and difficult, and all of these things I'm experiencing. And so it's like I'm exposed to be seen in my navigating through this, which I'd be more comfortable navigating on my own. But I don't know, like, why someone else would be here. But it's like you're navigating, I say you, whatever, this energy, navigating towards a building of something. And I feel really strongly here. It's like to get more secure, like get out of this, like anything can happen turbulency, to something more secure, or like get to the goal, the finish line of something secure and stable. But there's a resistance to this. One, because I think it's pushing someone right to the limit here, or like there's a line drawn in the sand as far as I will go when it comes to, I don't know, building or committing or this sort of a build, a security. And it requires a transition. And I'm resisting this transition because I'm very weary. And I get uncomfortable. I dislike the feeling. Maybe the feeling being vulnerable. I dislike the idea of being seen, or I dislike the idea of this transition. Something like this. And it's like feeling helpless or hopeless, and feeling like, I don't know, either we don't want to be in the mercy of someone, or we don't want to seem, do we not want to carry someone else? We don't want to be strapped with someone else, or feel the heaviness of feeling like we have to rescue someone, or being burdened by someone here. It feels like dead weight. And so, I don't know, maybe you're dealing with someone here, and maybe this is you. You know, I'm really fearful of what I could build, number one, if I could build it, number two. I'm weary of committing to something here, and the process it would take, and the responsibility of carrying another person through this thing. And so I'm resisting this. And Spirit is coming through here with like saying that this person is resilient to get through, because Capricorn and this resilience accomplishes everything and anything that it sets its mind on. But I feel like there's this energy with the fox of whatever energy I was reading here, the person, whatever, that's weary, is like being sort of sneaky, or being sort of deceptive, or trying to outwit some situation so that they could prevent embarrassment, or prevent a feeling that they dislike. So it's like I'm going to resist movement, or I'm going to deceive, or I'm going to throw fox energy in here. And again, it's like weary of this. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words here. So you are protected, cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. I feel like this transition is all about movement. Whether we like how we feel or not, I think there's discomfort here. We're weary about where we're being led. And so we might be trying to outwit, outsmart the universe with this fox energy and this resist. And Spirit says the more we outwit, outrun, and outsmart, think we are, the universe, the more we dislike, the more we're sort of incapacitated. And the universe is saying that there is working with the universe, and that you, whoever this is, now I'm flipping it, you person here who's trying to outwit, outsmart, has the ability to win working with the universe, not against or resist situations. But this is like, I don't know why this person feels they have to commit or build this thing. Maybe there is security to be had in some way. And it's like getting this person out of whatever state is going on here. And normally with 6 swords, it's like getting out of a 5 swords, like getting out of difficulty, getting out of sabotage, getting out of challenge, getting out of situations where we might really, sabotage self. And I don't know if like there's something we're doing here that's like embarrassing to us, or like that we regret sort of doing or being exposed to. And I do feel it's tied to emotions again, because maybe we're trying to not show, but do. But it's all about transition and something about stability, commitment, security, performance, or so we think, and then feeling sort of immobilized in some way or burdened by. And we don't like this. So cords are being cut. I don't know. Are we cutting cords from the past in order to have a future? Or are we cutting cords from somebody who's in this energy? I have no idea. Let's take a look, Spirit. Why are we seeing this then? Spirit, clear and concise message. Maybe we're weary about, maybe this is a blend of energy. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're this other energy here is like, I'm weary about building security with someone who they themselves seem weary or dislike. I don't know, dislike something or resisting something about this transition, you know? And it's like I've gone to my edge, or I'm going as far as I can go, and I'm going to build my own house here. Like, I don't know. Now I'm seeing like a build. Oh my goodness. I'm seeing a construction site and a build. So I don't know. Some of you guys might do construction here or like building. What is the Spirit? What am I seeing here? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What is this? Next 7 to 10 days about. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What do they need to know? What am I missing? Why are we seeing this? What is the guidance? Lovers. Need to commit to path. And this lovers, normally I say lovers is just a choice, which I do feel there's a choice for sure. But I almost feel like there's a no choice. There's just either we resist, and I don't know why that is, because I mean, shouldn't we have a choice whether we want to commit or not to something? I feel like there's no choice here for some reason, and maybe this is how this person feels, but I don't know. If they feel this way, then I don't think that's right, because I do feel there's always a choice, you know, a conscious choice of what we want to do. But I feel like we're resisting a choice that is no longer feeling like a choice. And the reason I'm saying I normally read it like a choice, but this time I'm seeing the lovers here as a relationship of commitment is because the geese mate for life. And I feel like there's like this stress about mating for life, or a dislike about this, or feeling burdened by this. So then I don't know why we should. Like, are we considering buying a house or living with someone, or like moving to someone, like moving, you know? Yeah, like maybe we have to leave and go move to someone, but we don't have to do anything. So supreme protection, you are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond the limitations. So unless our own limitation is this embarrassment, is this resistance to something deeper, but we might know what our path is calling. So intuitively, maybe we're being guided to do the right thing, but we want to stick to 5 swords for some reason. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Emperor. Divine masculine energy here. Oh my goodness. Gemini, Aries, I need to commit to something here. But again, I don't even like saying a need. Why are we seeing this? This person needs to commit to this. Why? This is Spirit saying this is like the lover's path, meaning it's something destined in this person's path. So they're resisting. 9 of Wands in reverse, surrender. Someone who has been fighting and is being called to surrender or has surrendered. What is this? 7 Cups. So this is the confusion. This is like having too many options, not wanting to commit. Okay. Yeah, it's like the 1 cup here is upside down. Okay, now Spirit's coming through. Now I see. So 6 cups in the upright. 6 cups is my soulmates. Okay, soulmates with lovers. 6 cups is a soul recognition here, is a memory. It's like, I remember you. You know, it could be a past person even, but it's like this soul recognition. It's this innocence. It's this love for the sake of love. It's unconditional love with the 6 cups. It's also reconciliation. And I feel like Spirit is talking about this being this type of a connection here. But I feel like this Ace Cups is in reverse, because I feel like this is the choice that we're being called to do. And only this 1 cup is the correct path of the lovers. Everything else is just sort of fuck around and find out, you know? So I don't know why we want to just sit here in Cupland, or choose the cup that we're sort of being called to stand in power here with the Emperor and do what is correct for us. But that would require a surrender, and maybe we don't want to surrender. We want to fight. We want to resist. We want some control. We dislike being in a position of surrender. But an emperor's power is in the ability to surrender, not to be stubborn and resist. But I feel like there's trying to control something here, you know? But an emperor maybe not liking to be embarrassed. I don't know why this emperor feels embarrassed here, but let's see. Why is this emperor here? Oh, spirits. Yeah, 10 wands, burdened by this responsibility, a responsibility to grow up, or a responsibility to do the right thing, or to stand up, or to be the best version of me is a burden here. It's making me feel very heavy. I dislike this feeling of responsibility. Ace of Wands, but I'm being called, and this is definitely the straw that breaks this camel's back, because we have 10, and then the 1 wand falls on the camel's back and creates a collapse of surrender. So, and it's all because of this passion and this desire and this seeing this path of the lovers, which is destined. But I don't know why this person's resisting. So just fears. That's all I'm going to boil it down to. I don't know. There's sneakiness, there's resisting, there's trying to make it what it's not. Fighting, yeah, 7 wands. Fighting for what matters. This is the card of conviction, but this is also the card of resistance. And this could be the card of trying to defend, and now in the reverse, it's like surrender. You know, it's like, I can't no more carry this burden. I can't no more just carry the weight of something here, so I surrender. And the Mother of Swords came out for all 3 piles, more Gemini. So heavy Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Seeing clearly, understanding clearly through the 7 swords. So I like seeing Mother of Swords when we have this 7 cups. Sorry, did I say 7 swords? 7 cups. Because this is all about like confusion and like I need to choose and be certain and clear. And this is all about clarity, certainty, and understanding through wisdom, you know? And maybe for some time we couldn't see or understand, and we were maybe defensive or guarded or fighting for something. And now it's like, are we fighting for what is, you know, what our truth is? Or are we fighting to resist some form of truth here? Yeah, look at the 9 pentacles under that. So we might have an understanding, which, by the way, the sword of truth is in the reverse, that our own independence is only in being not in committed relationship. That's my freedom's going to go away. You know, that's our understanding. And Spirit's really saying we have a distorted understanding that's actually a lie about how we're seeing this, which is unhealthy in relationship, because we're not understanding how to be independent and confident in relationship to navigate, because we could be navigating in parallel and working together in the highest without it being burdensome, or like, I don't know, like we have to carry someone or something here. That is our understanding, which is actually untrue. So it's like, I'll lose my sovereignty, I'll lose my freedom, I lose my independence. And in fact, Spirit's saying, no, this is empowering you to be the best version of yourself here. And we see all the feathers here of the medicine wheel. It's like north, east, south, west. And I'm really being called to pile 1 with the 4 sort of directions. I feel like we're really being guided in a direction here, and we might be resisting and sticking to one understanding of our own independence here, and fighting for what we think it means with the wrong understanding. And Spirit's saying this conviction is great, but if we're fighting for sort of one understanding, we got to make sure that we know what is the truth of something, or are we just resisting something out of fear or a transition? Because I feel like whatever this is an opportunity to go down the lover's path, which is your destined person path, you know? So whether you believe in destiny or not here, it's like the divine is coming through. And if you're watching tarot, most likely you believe in divine, you know, the divine intervention or unfoldings. There's an option and an opportunity to fly with someone here, to be the best version of yourself, not anything but yourself, because this is all about you. And so See how I flipped it? I don't know if this is you or whatever, but anyway, we're feeling burdened by this, and it's like surrender to this. And look, this 9 plus this 1 is this 10. And so this is the feeling, is like if I give into my passion or this thing, it's like I'm going to be burdened by this thing. And so I'd rather just fight and be defensive of this thing. And the 10 plus the 1 is like the straw that breaks the camel's back in order to surrender. And then I'm also seeing the 7 and the 1, which is all about communication. That's 8. That's a breakthrough. So if we have been incapable of committing ever, because we dislike it or we're weary or we resist it, it's like there's a breakthrough happening here. And it happens through communication. We communicate our fears, or we communicate, lack of communication with the sword in reverse. A lack of communication creates confusion. A lack of communication creates uncertainty. A lack of communication creates leaving all sorts of things up in the air here, which is the opposite of committing, having vision, and, surrendering and building things of value here. But I don't know why we're on the edge of town here. But we're very weary, and I think we're weary because of a misunderstanding and having to put down our wants. So we're going to wrap up this reading with a final message and see why we're seeing this. Because if it's this difficult to do, I don't know. Obviously, then this is like something we're having to overcome from within ourselves. That is clearly a misunderstanding, pushing us outside of our comfort zone. But I don't know, like we're resilient and we have the ability to get through this, and this is supreme protection. Okay, cords are being cut. So maybe we're having to cut cords from our past. We're being asked to trust this and move beyond any limitation of embarrassment or fear or resistance or spirit. What am I missing here? Pile number 3. Pile 3, the week ahead. What am I missing? Any questions Pile 3 has? What is the guidance then? What's going to help them? Why are we seeing this message? I just heard Leo. So this might be some Leo, but Leo's all about that sun energy, which is divine masculine, getting empowered, being seen in our beautiful lights. 9 of Cups in reverse. So we saw the 9 Pentacles and the 9 Cups, all about self. Maybe we have a fear of losing self. But this in reverse could be the card of being selfish, over gratifying ourselves, choosing immediate things here, and then being emotionally dissatisfied. There's an emotional dissatisfaction here in choosing the immediacy and not sort of going down the path of commitment or long-term gain would take some form of skin in the game. I do feel this is committing to a person, but I don't know, maybe committing to a move. Yeah, committing to a move, committing to a build. We have the Father of Wands, confidence. That's the opposite of embarrassed. Confidence. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. The man with a plan. Okay, but this Cobra can strike, and it feels to me like he's defending himself, but is creating pain here, because getting bit by a snake isn't fun, I would imagine. Yeah, there's the commitment card again. 4 of Wands. Being asked to commit to something here, and we're being defensive. And what we're defending here is something that might feel good in the moment, and then we're over, I don't know, I just heard gluttony. We're over indulging in some sort of energy here, and then we're dissatisfied. I feel like this is high dissatisfaction and emotions. So you're not satisfied in whatever this is here. Yeah, 3 of Swords. That's the heartbreak. There's the 9 of Swords. So 3 swords in reverse, 9 swords in reverse. Heavy anxiety. There's the intuition. Pisces energy. And of course, we have the Emperor at the bottom again. Aries under the Emperor. We have the Son of Swords in reverse. Page of Swords. This could definitely be the energy that came through in pile number 2, because I'm feeling a little bit of a brat here. Okay, even though this is Knight of Swords, not the page, sorry, but I am feeling a little bit of a brat here, okay? Yeah, a little bit of a brat that could create a lot of damage. So let me see. Why are we seeing this, Spirit? Oh my goodness, this is this brat. Okay. Okay, beautiful angel. Yeah, the two, there's that decision. And look, it's parallel lines, like parallel. Like there's nothing. Okay. In front of you this week. And I do feel like this is something that isn't just going to fall from the sky. I feel you've been in this for some time with this Capricorn energy for quite some time, okay? I don't know, committing to a relationship, committing to that build, to a move, to some form of security, whatever that looks to you, marriage, having a family, your dream person, or whatever, okay? I'm going to read it as a person here because that's kind of how it was coming through, although it doesn't have to be, because now I see that, like I said, that move or that thing, okay? There's a decision in front of you. And I feel like Spirit is really talking about you being destined to go down some path. And the only reason you're not going down it and being defensive is for all the reasons we mentioned, embarrassed, this weariness, this inability to trust, everything that's stemming from a broken heart here. Okay. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean we experience a divorce, or like a move that was just horrible, but I do feel there's been an experience in your energy body that's left you hurt, and it's needing to be looked at and resolved. Otherwise, what we experience here is being defensive and protecting something that doesn't matter. We saw the 7 cups, and then we saw in the 7 wands. It's like, do we want to fight for what matters? Because right now we're fighting for being emotionally dissatisfied. That's what we're fighting for. That's what we're defending. And we're defensive about it, and we can lash out about it, and we're very protective about it because we feel like it's a sense of identity here. But Spirit's really saying this isn't our identity. This is actually something that leaves us feeling emotionally dissatisfied. And there's a useless anxiety here in maintaining this position, that what we're really being asked to look at and what we're really guarding is the, experiencing another heartbreak or a loss that we're not wanting to experience. So it has nothing to do with whether we'll be emotionally losing ourselves or emotionally able to reveal ourselves. It's like Spirit's really saying, look at where this pain is lying from. It has nothing to do with choices in this matter, because choices in this matter, Spirit is saying, is like your happiness. This is your soul tribe. This is coming into union, creating the family, celebration, marriage, joy, a rite of passage, where you are in charge of yourself and your own ability to step into your highest. But you're not seeing it, and you're not wanting to confront this choice or this decision. And so there's this retreat energy, resistance energy, not wanting to feel this discomfort, disliking how we're feeling about it, feeling forced, or feeling like we keep reviewing what we don't like. Meanwhile, Spirit keeps saying there's the 3 swords here we're having to acknowledge and understand. That's all about a past experience. And so this is a limiting thing. And so cords are being cut. What's being cut? The experience we had in the past. It is being healed. How is it being healed? By trusting, surrendering, leaning into a choice that feels right for you, not what you're being coerced to do. Listen to your feelings, because I feel like Spirit is really talking about your feelings are guiding you, and you're resisting. And you're resisting based on these fears, unfounded, but very well rooted. And so what is your intuition telling you? Your intuition is telling you to step into your power, your confidence. Okay, like you have the ability to pull this off with Capricorn and with this Father of Wands. This is an unstoppable energy, and the Emperor, which is all the kings in one. Being in the position here to succeed and do what's right and step into the highest in full power without giving away self. There is no giving of self here with this Emperor. The Emperor stands for what's right. And I feel like then he's able to be secure and come together and build roots here with something here. This is my 1111, which also signifies twin flames. Okay, but I feel like there's this not wanting to see or run or be like a brat about something here, because I feel like this Cobra can just attack here, but it's kind of bratty, because what is it defending? It's not defending something honorable. In fact, it's not confronting what's honorable. It's cowardly running. And it creates more anxiety here, because I feel like the universe is saying this is an opening and a doorway and a transition that's happening, whether we like it or not, in order to heal this. That's why this is happening. And we might feel like we're out of control or have no control, and Spirit is saying like there is no threat here. But we might not see it, and we're just sort of attached to the story of the past. 7 Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, like we're not committing, dedicating ourselves to this. And this is also this energy. It's like, I'll just give up. I'll just resist. I'll just block. I'll just not keep going where I might have already been investing here. So what is your intuition telling you and guiding you towards? And I do feel like our confidence is sort of fighting for the wrong camp here. And Spirit's saying, take your confidence towards what you're intuitively being called to do, which feels more in line with what you want in order for you to step up to the plate rather than to be defensive and guarded and guarding this heartbreak and this heartache and upkeeping your anxieties and upkeeping your resistance and upkeeping your worst nightmares here. The only thing that's going to get you out of your worst nightmares is to go through the transition to experience this, you know? And if we experience failure or something we don't like, it's like, so what? Like, we've grown from it. Like, I feel like you'll be incapacitated here, or like put to your death. Like, my goodness, I don't know. It's really crazy. And it's like all of this weary feeling, like, will it be successful? Like, I'm weary whether I could have success here, or what if I fail? And so I'm embarrassed to try or be seen, or I don't have the power here to do this thing. And I don't know. And it's spirits keep saying, like, you're resilient here, you're protected. I do feel there's just one more, okay? Because that's how it goes. Spirit, final message. So I can get the hell out of here. For pile number 3, what do they need to know? Pile number 3, thank you so much, Spirit. We're so blessed for this message. What do they need to know for the week ahead? Being called to move. I'm surprised we didn't see 6 swords. Hangman. So we're in limbo land. And Spirit's saying, change the way you see things. Tap into your intuition and the divine. There might be a 180 here in our point of view. And it's all about what the unseen. It's like we don't see where we're being navigated. And so there's so much anxiety, but it's like change your perspective. Have a complete flip of script here in order for you to be able to come out of whatever limbo land this is. And we don't want to release. We don't want to let go. Scorpio energy, Pisces energy. So we'd have to let go of something here. Yeah. Put an end to something there. And there's the devil on there. Yeah. So, oh my goodness. Someone you're dealing with, I have no idea. The devil is real here, okay? Although the devil's just our own shadows, our fears, and we're bound by this devilly thought. That's what's keeping us stuck. I have a point of view, and it's all stemmed from a 3 swords that happened to me back in 1982. And as long as I carry that, I will defend everything, come hell or high water, even at my own demise. And so therefore I sit here, and Spirit's saying, have a 180. Change the way you see it. This will shake up and allow you freedom from the devil, because right now this doesn't feel good. This person's not feeling good. It's very stressful. They're 10 wands. And it's going against what they want themselves because they're nothing but free. And so this person wanted options or freedom, or I don't know what they wanted here, but I feel like it's like an inability to choose. And it's keeping things very cloudy for them. And it's not allowing this person to move with things that are going to be happy for them. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, the inevitable is the inevitable. There's an inevitable ending. Both of these talk about an ending, a release. So we're either going to welcome this shift that's going to happen by the universe, because this is death. This is nothing lasts forever, and everything is suspect to change. Everything. Always. Nothing is forever the same. And so our world is changing. Our whole life is changing. Regardless if we commit or don't commit, our life changes. There's changes. That's constant. We're hanging on to what we have. We're hanging on to things that have already fallen apart. And Spirit is saying, it's time to lean into it and surrender and accept this change and put an end to it, or resist and experience an ending here of a pathway that you are being called to do. And this will end. And guess what? This will happen. And eventually we surrender. But I think what Spirit is saying is the devil is going to be us then sitting in an energy here where we've completely missed this boat because this has come to an end. And so what are we left with? A bunch of rubble here. The change happens, but the pathway is now changed. You know, it's now over. It's now ended in some way. And we're sitting here having to face the truth anyway. So we're just prolonging something and resisting something of surrender. So either we win with the universe or we resist, and then we experience suffering here, because this is a painful ending. Painful. I mean, both sort of are painful, because this is like resisting something that feels discomfort. And this is like backstabbing and feeling really, really betrayed or hurt, you know? And so one is natural, organic, and one here sort of happens because of our own stubbornness or our own, you know, it's going to hurt twice as much or 3 times as much or 10 times as much, actually 10 times as much. Owie. So Spirit's trying to prevent you from hurting 10 times as much. And so when we resist organic change and shift and growth, we're just lining up for 10 times the pain. And so this is why we need to change our perspective and allow things to move and not resist, and really question this and look at it and confront it with the Knight of Swords. Like really confront, what is my view coming from? Is it from pain? What am I hanging on to? What do I need to let go of? I really need to put that to an end, or at least work with the universe, because the only reason I'd be bound to it and hanging on and not letting it is because I have fears and I'm chained to something here. And then I'm going to experience a very painful situation here that the universe is going to dish out, because when we can't break loose, the universe puts us in situations that break us loose, whether we like it or not, you know? So I don't know, there's unhealthy patterns. We're feeling bound, we're feeling stuck, and maybe we're feeling, like I said, like stuck to what we would feel like if we were in a commitment, you know? I don't know. But again, is that our own perspective of like what we think it would be like without giving it a chance? I don't know. Only you'll know this, but I feel like you're hung up or stuck on one point of view, and it's devilly. So we have Capricorn, Scorpio, and Pisces energy here. And our point of view is like not seeing the cup that the universe is offering to us. And it really might be because of a lack of self-love or really embracing what the universe wants to give and bless us with. But we have to be open to receive, and we might be resisting this. Again, like the cobra, fighting for the wrong camp, overburdening ourselves, you know, hanging on to the story of the 3 swords, the 3 swords, the 3 swords, whether we know it or not. So, I don't know. That's what you got. Sounds crazy. Sounds crazy here, but maybe it's just bringing this to your attention. Maybe it's like really in front of you here, you know, the transition's here and it's open. And the only reason why we're wouldn't go through this is if we resist and cling to things here that are already dead. They're done. All right, pile number 3. This is your reading. What a set of readings. My back is killing me. I love you guys so much. You guys might have been drawn to pile 1 and 2. Bless you guys. I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.